rocks are still loose. We had that up a little higher yesterday. We had a big rock ramp, and there's just too much for it. So we actually dug it down. I know the rock's kind of on the siding, didn't mean for that to happen. But it'll get moved a little later as stuff starts settling. And we ended up putting the whole thing down in the ground about 3 or 4 more inches. And now the rock ramp is no longer there, and it seems to do a lot better job. Now this rock is still kind of loose, so it still has a little bit of a turtle digging thing going on, but it's working. It looks like it's slanted a little bit to the left, and it kind of is just a little bit by about a ½ inch or so. If not, it should be level afterwards. The roof looks like it's not quite flat. We are on the hill, and the whole garage has a slant to the back. And a lot of this was just made from extra spare wood that we had laying around from other projects. We did have to go buy a couple 2x4s. You see in there, they were kind of ripped down to 2x2s just to make the walls. And got a roof for it. We did a siding project. Never sided before too, so it's my first siding job. Not too bad. But for an outside little garage, that'll work out just fine. And we're kind of right next door to the RTK. I did have to use the extension cable for the RTK and plug it up separately. Usually it would daisy chain to the base and then not to the RTK, but it was just too far away. So we have it all nice, neat and clean, sort of zip tied up. Not supposed to be putting stuff on your electrical panels on the outside, but it is what it is for right now. Later on, I'll get a gray PVC to connect that black loose wire instead of just sitting on top of rock, waiting to get stepped on, tripped on, bent and broke. But for now, that's working. See the charging lights flashing. This is actually a see-through roof, although we do have plywood sitting around on top of that. We ended up painting the plywood just to make it last a little longer. And the GPS signal is actually getting through it better than a metal roof or a normal shingled roof. So all the GPS signals are working, electricity's working, and it seems to be doing a bit better job docking itself down. That's where the wire's going to come out of the back. So I don't know. It hasn't really been out in the rain, but hopefully this siding stuff will work. My intent is to put a solar panel on top of that and have that cable go in the back like the other cable is. And a solar panel charge up a battery that's going to run on a Raspberry Pi, so we can do a couple of more projects with a Raspberry Pi. To tell me when the robot's in the room was sort of a one idea, and take a picture and post it up on a website that I can access externally, or push updates to Discord or x.com, just to kind of be proactive on the alerts when it's out and about, and it knows it's out and about. I thought about making a motion sensor go off, so that way I know if there's any bugs or dirt daubers or kids roaming around in there that shouldn't be whenever the robot's working. And also thought about maybe putting an external light, like a little LED light off here to the right somewhere. Again, powered off that Raspberry Pi, just to show like a red light to signal that the robot's in there. Or maybe flash slowly if it's out and about doing its thing. There's some other kind of cool projects. I've also got a thick shower curtain that I'm going to cut up later today, maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure yet. And drape it down like you see in those big cold warehouses where they have the a thick shower curtain door to kind of keep the cold from one side out on the other. Yeah, my thought process was to kind of do the same thing over here, and just instead of one big square, cut up in like little sheets, long thin sheets, maybe 4 or 5 there, and let it just kind of hang down to help keep some of the dust, the dirt, and maybe some of the rain out. The slight drizzle rain, but the way it rains up here sometimes it just rains very hard. That's going to get in there for sure. And if rain ever does get in there, it is pitched down about a 1/4 inch from the back to about a 1/4 inch per foot, just a little bit. So that way, if you were to dump a lot of water in there right now, it should drain out frontwards and drain a little bit off to the right, so down and right. So it's not exactly smooth, a little even. If you were to put a marble in there, I'm sure it would think about trying to come out. And I don't know if you can see it, but we went in and put some of those epoxy chips in there after we painted. We didn't epoxy it. but just kind of thinking whatever we could do to make it last a little bit longer, so it doesn't turn into a crappy old doghouse. If it does, hey, we'll rebuild it, maybe build a better one in a couple of years. But that was kind of my off-the-cuff ingenuity. And that roof is a little bit bigger than what it probably needs to be too, but I think it'll work out pretty good up here because we get some gnarly winds, and hopefully they'll be heavy enough to stay there without worrying about other stuff kind of blowing around. We'll put it through spaces and find out. I think here in about a month anyways, we're gonna start winterizing the stuff, taking all of that down, or putting the robot inside and the dock station inside and get all this wire mess and the RTK zip tied everywhere and put all that inside for the winter time. Then bring it all back out here during summertime or in springtime when mowing season starts again. But right now it's doing an okay job. It's been out of commission for about a month or so. Just hadn't had time to finish up this robot or the garage project. But now we're here. So it's doing a fairly good job. Now we're kind of turning it back on again, trying to get things mowed again. You see where it's kind of starting a little bit up here. We helped it a little bit with the tractor. Not too much, but we'll put it through its paces again. All right, that's the project.